Hungary, March 11th, 1241. King Bela IV has assembled the largest Christian army in Europe. 100,000 men, knights, crossbowmen, infantry, camped along the Sajó River, confident, disciplined, completely unaware. In the darkness before dawn, 3 Mongol columns close in from different directions. No torches, no drums. 60,000 riders moving in near silence across frozen ground, coordinated across miles, with zero instant communication. By sunrise, the camp is surrounded, but the Mongols don't attack. They leave one gap in the encirclement, a way out. The Hungarians panic and run. There is cavalry waiting on the other side for miles. It wasn't an escape, it was a funnel, and 100,000 men cease to exist. This is not a story about barbarians. This is a story about a system so advanced it took the rest of the world 700 years to catch up. History remembers Genghis Khan as a barbarian, a savage, a destroyer. But here's what they don't teach you in school. The US Army still studies his tactics, and Rommel, the desert fox himself, said the Mongol campaigns were the greatest display of mobile warfare in history. So who was the real barbarian? Mongolia, 1162. No cities, no walls, no iron mines, no standing army, just steppe, wind and tribes that spent more energy killing each other than building anything. This is where Temujin was born, into poverty, into captivity, into a world designed to break him. By his 20s, enslaved, abandoned, left for dead. By 1206, every clan on the steppe had submitted to him. He was named Genghis Khan, universal ruler. The question isn't whether he was brutal. He was. The question is, how did he build something that lasted? 6 principles. Alone, none of them changed history. Together, they became the deadliest military system the medieval world had ever seen. No army on earth combined them this way. Centuries later, many of those same principles would reappear in modern military doctrine, and the first one will surprise you. Pillar 1. Meritocracy. Medieval Europe ran on bloodlines. You commanded armies because your father did. In Genghis Khan's army, you commanded because you performed. Initiative, loyalty, results. That's it. Tribe didn't matter. Background didn't matter. His 2 greatest generals, Subutai and Jeb, started as common soldiers. One had been his enemy. In the 13th century, that was unthinkable. It meant his officer corps was selected by competence, not politics. That's a force multiplier no weapon can match. But meritocracy alone doesn't win wars. You also need to know what you're walking into. Pillar 2. Intelligence. The Mongols never attacked blind. Before any major campaign, they spent months, sometimes years, running networks of spies, merchants and defectors deep inside enemy territory. Troop numbers, supply routes, political fractures, which commanders could be bribed. By the time the army moved, the battle was already half decided. Same doctrine the CIA and Special Operations Forces use today. Intelligence drives the operation, not the other way around. And once you know where to hit, you need to get there faster than anyone expects. Pillar 3. Mobility. Speed wasn't an accident, it was engineered. Every Mongol warrior rode with multiple horses, switching mounts throughout the march while the others recovered. Without the weight of the rider on their backs, the reserve horses rested and recovered even while in motion, simply trotting freely alongside the marching force. Their hardy steppe horses grazed as they traveled, eliminating the need for massive wagon trains. They carried dried meat, hard cheese, and fermented mare's milk instead of relying on long supply lines. European armies marched with thousands of carts. The Mongols marched with horses. That's why they could appear hundreds of miles away before anyone believed it was possible. But moving fast means nothing if your commanders can't stay coordinated across thousands of miles. That's where the YAM came in. Pillar 4. Logistics. This is the one historians underestimate most. The Mongols built the YAM, a relay network of horse stations stretching across the entire empire. Every 25 miles, fresh horses, fresh riders, food, water, a message sent from Karakoram could reach the Persian frontier in days, not weeks, days. Riders didn't stop, they didn't rest. They swapped horses at each station and kept moving, covering up to 200 miles in a single day. For reference, the Pony Express, America's famous mail relay system, launched in 1860, covered less ground, and was considered a marvel of modern engineering. The Mongols were doing it in 1220, 600 years earlier. The Yam moved supplies, it moved orders, it moved reinforcements. While enemy armies were still waiting for word from their king, the Mongols had already repositioned and struck again, and the Yam is what made the next pillar possible. Pillar 5. Decentralized command. Here's what made the Mongols genuinely terrifying in the field. Genghis Khan set the objective. His generals decided how to get there. No micromanagement, no waiting for orders from the top. Commanders at every level were trusted to make decisions in real time, and they had the information to do it, because the Yam kept them connected. Military theorists call this mission command. The US Army made it official doctrine in 1982. The Mongols were running it in 1220, but speed and autonomy only get you so far. The sixth pillar is what turned victories into empires. Pillar 6. Psychological warfare. Before every siege, the Mongols sent one messenger, one offer: surrender now, your city survives. Resist, nothing remains. This wasn't cruelty, it was leverage. Cities that surrendered were taxed and integrated. Cities that resisted were destroyed publicly, and word traveled fast through the Yam. Entire regions submitted without a single arrow fired. Information operations at continental scale, and it worked every time. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Genghis Khan died in 1227. His empire fragmented, but the machine didn't disappear. 700 years later, a German general named Erwin Rommel was tearing through North Africa faster than the British could respond. He moved with his forward units. He made decisions on the ground without waiting for orders. He trusted his commanders to adapt in real time. Historians called it genius. Military scholars called it something else. The same doctrine Subutai was running at Mohi. And it wasn't just Rommel. The entire concept of blitzkrieg, fast coordinated columns, multiple axes of advance, bypassing strength to collapse the enemy's rear, traces directly back to Mongol cavalry tactics. German generals like Guderian studied ancient campaigns the way engineers study blueprints. The Mongols didn't just win battles, they invented a way of thinking about war that the 20th century had to rediscover on its own, and called it modern. Genghis Khan built an empire on 6 ideas that had nothing to do with size, wealth, or technology. Meritocracy, intelligence, mobility, logistics, decentralized command, psychological pressure. That combination, applied ruthlessly and consistently, is why a people with no cities and no resources came within miles of conquering all of Europe. So the next time someone calls Genghis Khan a barbarian, you know better. The man engineered speed as a weapon, built a communication network that covered half the planet on horseback, selected his officers by merit, broke enemies psychologically before the first arrow was fired. He didn't just conquer the world, he wrote the manual on how to do it, and we're still reading it. Subscribe, because next video, we're looking at another force that rewrote the rules, one operation at a time.